Hello guys, you are seeing Prime News Australia, where we show you the latest and important news of Australia in the fastest and reliable way. So come, let's start by not delaying. 25 big updates of the Australia, especially for you. Before proceeding in the video, comment by commenting from which state you are watching, and also like video, so that YouTube can reach this video to more people of Australia. Australia's economy remains resilient despite global uncertainty. Government data shows steady employment levels and controlled inflation compared to other developed nations. While cost of living pressures remain a concern for households, economists say strong public spending and infrastructure projects are supporting growth. The Reserve Bank continues to closely monitor interest rates, signaling cautious optimism for the months ahead. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese reiterated his government's commitment to easing cost of living pressures. Speaking at a public forum, he highlighted energy rebates, rent assistance, and wage growth measures. Albanese acknowledged Australians are under stress due to high prices, but said inflation is easing. The opposition criticized the pace of relief, calling for immediate tax cuts. Australia's Liberal Party continues to face internal divisions following leadership changes. Several senior members have raised concerns about party unity and future direction. Analysts say ongoing infighting could weaken the party's chances in upcoming elections. Voters are watching closely to see whether the opposition can rebuild trust and present a strong alternative government. Pauline Hanson's One Nation Party has recorded a noticeable rise in recent opinion polls. Analysts attribute the surge to voter frustration over immigration, housing affordability, and regional development issues. While major parties remain dominant, the polling shift highlights growing dissatisfaction among certain voter groups and could influence preference flows in future elections. Australia's housing crisis continues as demand outpaces supply in major cities. Rising rents and limited affordable housing have pushed many families into financial stress. The federal and state governments are working on long-term housing strategies, including faster approvals and increased social housing construction, but experts warn relief will take time. Parts of eastern Australia have experienced extreme weather, including heavy rainfall and flooding. Emergency services responded to multiple rescues, while residents were urged to avoid flooded roads. Climate experts say such events are becoming more frequent due to climate change, raising concerns about disaster preparedness and infrastructure resilience. As temperatures rise, authorities across Australia are focusing on bushfire preparedness. Fire agencies are conducting controlled burns and community awareness programs. Officials warn that early preparation is critical, urging residents in high-risk areas to have evacuation plans ready. Past bushfire seasons have shown how quickly conditions can escalate. Australia's healthcare system continues to face pressure from staff shortages and rising patient demand. Hospitals report longer waiting times, particularly in emergency departments. The government has promised increased funding and workforce support, while medical groups are calling for urgent reforms to ensure patient safety and staff well-being. The federal government has announced expanded funding for mental health services across Australia. The initiative focuses on early intervention, youth counselling, and regional access. Mental health advocates welcomed the move, but said ongoing investment is needed to meet growing demand, especially following the long-term impacts of the pandemic. Australia is strengthening defense cooperation with key allies through joint exercises and technology sharing. Officials say the focus is on regional security and stability in the Indo-Pacific. The government maintains that defense upgrades are defensive in nature, aimed at ensuring national security in a rapidly changing global environment. Education reforms are being debated nationwide, with a focus on teacher shortages and curriculum updates. State governments are considering incentives to attract educators to regional areas. Teachers' unions argue that workload reduction and better pay are essential to retaining staff and maintaining education standards. Australian students continue to express concerns over rising university fees and student debt. Advocacy groups are calling for changes to loan repayment thresholds. The government says reforms are under review, acknowledging the financial burden faced by graduates entering a competitive job market. Discussions around Indigenous recognition and reconciliation continue across Australia. Community leaders stress the importance of meaningful consultation and long-term policy commitments. While progress has been made in some areas, advocates say closing the gap in health, education, and employment remains a national priority. Australia's technology sector is showing strong growth, with startups attracting international investment. Areas such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and fintech are expanding rapidly. Industry leaders say government support and skilled migration policies will be key to sustaining momentum and competing globally. Cybersecurity threats targeting Australian businesses and institutions are increasing. Authorities have warned of sophisticated scams and data breaches. The government is urging companies to strengthen digital defenses, while consumers are advised to remain vigilant against phishing and online fraud. Australia's transition to renewable energy is accelerating, with new solar and wind projects approved nationwide. The government says the shift will lower emissions and reduce energy costs in the long term. Critics argue more support is needed for workers transitioning from traditional energy sectors. Major transport infrastructure projects are underway across Australian cities. Investments include rail upgrades, road expansions, and public transport improvements. Governments say the projects will reduce congestion and support economic growth, though some communities have raised concerns about construction delays and environmental impact. Australia's retail sector is adapting to changing consumer behavior. Online shopping continues to grow, while physical stores focus on customer experience. Retailers report cautious spending as households manage budgets, leading to increased competition and discounting across the sector. Australia's tourism industry continues its recovery, supported by strong domestic travel and returning international visitors. Regional tourism operators report improved bookings, though rising costs remain a challenge. Tourism bodies are promoting Australia as a safe and diverse destination to sustain growth. Australia's agriculture sector shows mixed conditions, with strong exports offset by climate risks. Farmers face challenges from drought in some regions and floods in others. Government assistance programs aim to support rural communities, while experts stress the need for climate-resilient farming practices. The government has announced increased funding for grassroots sports across Australia. The initiative aims to improve facilities and participation, particularly among youth. Sporting organizations welcomed the move, saying community sports play a vital role in health and social inclusion. Australia's national cricket team continues international tours with mixed results. Analysts say younger players are gaining valuable experience ahead of major tournaments. Fans remain optimistic as selectors focus on balancing experience with emerging talent in the squad. Road safety authorities have launched new campaigns to reduce fatalities. Speeding, drink driving, and distracted driving remain key concerns. Police say stricter enforcement and public awareness are essential to improving safety on Australian roads. Australia's migration policies are under review as the government seeks to balance workforce needs with housing capacity. Business groups support skilled migration, while community organizations call for better settlement support and infrastructure planning. Recent surveys suggest Australians remain concerned about the future, but cautiously hopeful. While economic pressures persist, trust in institutions remains relatively stable. Experts say clear communication and effective governance will be critical in maintaining public confidence during uncertain times.